Introducing the Advantage quantum computer from D-Wave. Advantage is the most powerful and connected quantum computer ever built for business. Welcome to a massive step forward in practical quantum computing. Welcome to Advantage. Today, more than 250 early applications across industries like finance, healthcare, manufacturing, and transportation have been built and run on the D-Wave quantum computer. But size matters. We've completely re-engineered the Advantage quantum computer to deliver performance that scales to in-production applications, solving real-world business problems. Advantage is redefining computing power with a new topology, greater performance, and the ability to solve more complex problems. With more than 5,000 qubits and 35,000 couplers, Advantage is the most powerful and connected commercial quantum system ever built. Advantage's greater connectivity enables the system to run larger, more complex problems directly on the QPU. And for problems that don't fit natively on the QPU, the new hybrid solver services in Leap now allow you to run problems with up to 1 million variables, enabling new solutions to large-scale business-critical problems. Let's go under the hood. With more than 1 million Josephson junctions and a football field of superconducting wiring, Advantage is an engineering feat. With innovations to keep Advantage cool under pressure, our systems have achieved over 4 years of continuous cold operation in the commercial setting. Featuring more than double the number of qubits and 2.5 times more connectivity than 2000Q, D-Wave's entirely new topology and fabrication process puts the power in the system for business applications. Size matters. Sign up for Leap today and start using Advantage to solve your most complex business problems. The Advantage quantum computer, the only advantage you'll ever need.
Boom, John Knows the Truth back with another one. And today we're going to cover Cern, D-Wave, and Kindred. I've been meaning to do this video for a while. I saw a lecture done by Brother Panic, shout out to Brother Panic, on the D-Wave quantum computer. It was about 5 hours long, and he broke it down pretty well, but you weren't able to come to a conclusion. The only way you're gonna realize what these computers do is when you look at how your reality has changed, especially over the last 3 years. You can go back even further. The uptick in the LGBT community, the pandemic out of nowhere that shut down the world, the financial crash again, the weather manipulation, the news lying about everything, the corrupt politicians, and you're finding out they're into all sorts of stuff with the Epstein, Weinstein, Maxwell mix. These companies being exposed as completely corrupt. The murder music, all the satanic music, like it's being hyped up more than ever. And I think it's because of these computers. These scientists ask questions and effectively get a formula to answer from a computer, an entity. And they're getting their direction from rituals they do, from entities like Shiva, the goddess of destruction, right outside of the Cern headquarters. So this is very, very important because they're using our tax dollars to create these machines, and they're not even telling us what they're doing with these machines. And I'm pretty sure I know now they're altering our reality. It's even based into biblical references. The location of Cern's collider is supposedly a biblical reference, and we're going to get into that later. We're going to go through this subject pretty thoroughly because, as you can see, these occultists have gotten out of hand, and they effectively don't really know what they're doing, but their worship of these entities has led them in this direction, and they're going to destroy themselves for it. You can see the D-Wave computers shaped like the cube of Saturn, or how Cern's logo is literally 3 6s. So as everything moves on a pendulum, negative, positive, good, bad, lies, truth, the lies are being matched with truth. And I think these reality altering computers have actually woken us up, given us more to go on. And it's essentially created two worlds where you have the people that are still asleep, and will perceive the same story differently because of these fractured realities. So this is the positive angle. I think that's why there's so much of a truth movement now, because the double-edged sword of the internet has put so much information out there. These things are coming back up for a reason, and a lot of them are actually psyops. So you got to be careful who you follow just because they say a little bit of truth, like the Kanyes and the Kyries in the news, Elon Musk, Trump. You see what he did? He became a vaccine salesman. So that is a big positive of these machines. It's helping us wake up. It's giving us more breadcrumbs. So there's going to be a few exhibits in this video, and we're going to hear the creator of D-Wave, Gordy Rose, double speak about what these computers are actually for.
Okay, so my previous company was D-Wave. I'll just show you a couple things. We built what are still the world's only quantum computers that you can buy. And the company, D-Wave, has been doing this. Thanks. I didn't really have much to do with it, but you know, so this is one of them. This is one of the processors. And a lot of interesting things happened to me over the years there. I got sent pajamas, a whole bunch of stuff. You know, there's lots of interesting things that happen when you build something like a quantum computer. But just as an aside, because I thought it was funny, one of the interesting things that's happened from the D-Wave story is there's this gigantic conspiracy that's arisen on the internet that goes like this. So D-Wave builds quantum computers. The way that they work, if you know how this works, is one of the interpretations is that you tap into these parallel universes and they do computations. Sounds really weird. But what's happened is this idea has been hijacked to describe something called the Mandela effect, which is this thing where the past changes. So think about something you know to be true from the past. And then imagine you went out on the internet and you can't find it at all. It's not there. It doesn't match with your experience. So these people think that D-Wave is responsible, and Cern. And of course, the quantum key to the abyss factors into it somehow. I'm not exactly sure how. Okay, so that's just D-Wave. I did that for about 15 years. It was a lot of fun. A big science project that we turned into a commercial entity. That was a warm-up for Kindred. So Kindred is much, much, much more ambitious than D-Wave. And what Kindred is trying to do is build real AI. So what you've heard about AI is not what we mean by AI. What we mean by AI is a software system that can do literally anything that a human can do. Literally anything. And obviously, computers are better at things than people in lots of different ways. So now imagine, not only can they do everything that a human can do, but they can do everything that the best human at any task could do better than them. So imagine there was the mental Olympics of the 100-meter dash, and Usain Bolt is the fastest person. Now imagine that's some kind of a mental thing, like writing a novel or writing whatever. Imagine now that the thing is so much faster than Usain Bolt. Like, for example, it's a spaceship, yeah? It's still doing the same thing, but it's doing it so much better because we're limited, because we're people. So what Kindred is trying to do is solve this problem. How do you build machines that are better than people at everything? Now, there's a mental block that we have here when we think about this. Because when you think about that, one of your questions might be, for example, what are the applications of this? So imagine this. Imagine for $10, let's say, I could build a machine, like a little robot that had fingers and eyes and all that, and it could do your job better than you, no matter what it is. And I could sell that to your employer for, say, $15 and make a profit, instead of having to pay you $100,000 a year. Now imagine that was true for every single job. So that's what we're talking about here, is a complete and utter transformative change that of the likes of which has never been seen before in the history of humanity. making the Industrial Revolution look like a little tiny blip on the path that humans have taken from when we emerged from the ooze a few billion years ago. We are right on the verge of that transition now. So this guy, Rich Sutton, is one of the most famous people in the academic world of AI. And like many, when asked, when will this happen, he says things like this. 25% chance within 13 years of this thing that I'm talking about. You know, when you think about what you read on the news, you know, CNN, BuzzFeed, whatever, they're all kind of the same nowadays. Think about how unimportant that thing is that you're reading if this is true. Yeah? So what does this have to do with aliens? So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So, say I'm the President of the United States. So I receive this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You got to be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you wanted to land on that day. The amount of resources that would be marshaled to try to figure out what to do would encompass the whole world. AI is just like that. So when this thing that I'm talking about happens, it's going to be exactly the thing that you're thinking about those super intelligent AIs. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, you know, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening here. I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way that you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the US. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out. So, on that pleasant note, we're hiring people to try to make something like this happen. Of course, this is a very difficult project, of course. And I'm kind of a little bit tongue-in-cheek about all this, like, how bad things are, because it's not really like that. Technology is a double-edged sword, even something like this. It's agnostic. It depends who wields it. If you want to have a say in how all this goes down, you can't sit on the sidelines. And one of the ways that you can get involved and really change the world, like, a lot of people say, hey, join the Marines, you'll change the world or whatever. This opportunity that I'm talking about here in Vancouver is an opportunity for you to literally change the world. Because the code that you write may be running in the brains of these things in 10 years.
So as you can see, this Gordy Rose is an occultist. He's talking about summoning demons on one end, but he's saying how dangerous it is. But on the other end, he's trying to hire engineers to do more of it. So another important thing he said towards the end was, while everyone's bickering about politics and the economy and religion and whatnot, this is what's going on in the background. They're about to bring in AI-powered robots. And that's what a lot of the 5G and 6G is for, to power these things. It's not for humans. It's not for your phone. It's for these robots they want to bring in. So he's actually within two departments of the altering of our reality, the simulated portion and the robotics portion. So as you can see, all the movies they put out, this is how they're attempting to bring it to our reality. And it's right here. So also you heard him break down a lot of the occult meanings behind these things and saying it's like an alien invasion. If you know anything about Project Bluebeam, they're going to have to use technology like that or like this to show you things in the sky. But I think the more dangerous function is these robots. I mean, like he said, they're going to take your jobs. They're going to be enforcing laws. So it's very important we're more aware of this. And now we're going to get to a biblical reference.
It's the reason why they've been telling you about Cerns for a minute, because read Revelation 9. They trying to open the key to the bottomless pit, but God won't let them. But what they're doing is building an infrastructure so when God does give them the go-ahead, they can go ahead and open that pit. And listen, my brother, listen, go read Revelation 9. There's an angel's going to be cast to the earth who's going to have a key to the bottomless pit.
What chapter? What 9 and what?
Revelation 9. And just like how, with 9/11 in New York, it was 9/11. So read Revelation 9/11, and you're looking at the foreshadowing. Just like when you see these old okay, matter of fact.
Oh shit, you right, bro. You right. It says Revelation 9:11 said, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name is in the Hebrew tongue is Abandon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Wow.
So look, bro, that very location that Cern is built upon is the ancient temple of Apollyon. You understand, brother? It's the exact same location. So like I said, the demons is going to the site to open the portal when the Lord Jesus allows them to finally do so, because the cup of iniquity has been filled by humanity to a degree where Jesus will allow it.
Damn.
So what they're doing is preparations, and like how Jordy Rose talked about, H.P. Lovecraft, he talked about old horror films. When you see an old horror film, brother, you can see that shadow of that beast coming around the corner. And as that shadow gets smaller and more defined, you can see that beast is closer. Jeez. And it's the same thing with this D-Wave computing, because they're reaching into the other dimension, which is where, all they're doing, look, Larry Hoover locked up.
Yeah.
So it's Apollyon and the Destroyer, but they're using these quantum computers to communicate with these locked up generals of Satan.
Oh,
and coming from Chicago, I can see the murder and mayhem and the portals that's being opened.
Wow, bro. Wow.
And really, it's all, like I said, it's predictive programming, which you and your listeners know, because y'all with it. But I just want y'all to be truly blessed.
So yes, if you follow what he was saying, they're using these entities, these machines, to draw negative energy from everywhere. Us, people locked up, people dead. So that's why I generalize with the entity word. But when it gets to the predictive programming, we've all seen Terminator 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a reason they make these movies back to back to back, because they want to prime you, get you ready for what they're about to bring in. So now there's some newer shows getting a little closer to what they're doing. The newest one I seen was The Peripheral, in where they're putting on an Oculus and you're effectively traveling to the future through what you would reference as the metaverse type deal. So that's a new show. If you want to check that out, then you had Westworld. They actually are the same creators of Peripheral, Westworld. So if you've seen Westworld, you know about the park with all the robots. I'm pretty sure, and I've put out videos showing that a lot. I think they've already experimented with these robots in society, more so with like the media, the newscasters, actors, and whatnot. But yeah, the predictive programming is put there to get you ready for it, to almost make you want for it to happen. Another less watched show was Counterpart, where they were traveling through dimensions, and on the other dimensions, they would trade secrets, and you would have effectively another you. One part of it was the other world's water was clean, the other world's water was dirty. The other world's water had cell phones, the other one didn't. And the main part of Counterpart is that the other you in this other dimension is nothing like you. These two here, one was an assassin, one was like an accountant pushover. So these predictive programs are just giving you different ideas of what they think it is. But there's not like we can do anything to stop this, but be aware. And that's all I'm displaying this for, is to make you aware of what they're doing with these supercomputers, these quantum computers. Stay vigilant. Peace.
Here we have arrived to the outdoor portion of this ceremony, where again the entranced workers are walking in step up a platform towards a large screen. As you can see here, the workers are scaling the rock wall and they are digging a tunnel, it appears, into this wall. As the workers continue to excavate through the rock wall, it doesn't so much appear to be a tunnel. The more I look at it, it seems to be a portal that they've opened. The workers appear to be doing some sort of ritualistic dance to gain access or to have the portal open up for them. Once the portal opens and starts to take effect, the workers start to undress and things start to get a lot weirder. The workers that were digging the tunnel appear to have made a self-sacrifice and hung themselves in the portal. You can see on the screen that the sacrificed workers, or the workers that committed suicide, are spiraling down into abyss, probably the pit of hell. The further they go down, you will see hands reaching for them and clutching for them as they continue to fall. Once the three workers reach the bottom, they return as three spirits that are resurrected or lifted up into the sky. Not only are they lifted into the sky, it looks like the portal is transformed into some sort of eye, an all-seeing eye perhaps. You can see on the screen the three ghosts give way to three scarabs. A lot of symbolisms of three in this ceremony. You can see here that the goat man, or Satan, seems to be having some sort of sexual encounter with one of the women construction workers, or even a fallen angel perhaps. This just really seems a lot overboard for the opening ceremony to a scientific facility. There's just really got to be more than meets the eye here. I would really like to know what their goal is here. As the ritual continues, you will see on the screen the clock seems to be out of control, as if they're losing control of time. The large-headed figures, I believe, are to represent the heads of state or politicians that would appear or seem to be in cahoots or directly related to this ceremony, or even Satan himself. Here we see a lady dressed in red. Again, red symbolizes blood in these type of ceremonies. And in the background, you see the clock that is out of control. This losing control of time scenario, I've had a few people comment on the belief that this Cern machine has pushed us through or forced us into another dimension or an alternate reality. What do y'all think?